Alright guys, we have Benji here paddling for a short time. We're going to watch him in real time, and then we're going to slow it down and look at sequence of events for him and what it looks like to move his arms and better timing with his hips during the catch race. So here we go. Nice. Now I'm going to play in slow motion. We see a lot of good power here. I really like what you're doing with the aggressive catch, Benji. You can see that the hips are really powering the boat. I want to work a little bit more on the timing of the arms pressing down with the hips pulling back. So we got him buried right here. His angle is still positive, which is really good for being at the catch already. I see pretty good rotation. I'd like to see a little bit more rotation with the hips. Fully lunged forward, looking straight ahead. I'd like to see if his hands were stacked above each other to know if he was fully rotated. That would be the last thing. But other than that, pretty dang good. And as he goes through his catch, let's watch what happens first. So we see his hips starting to open up and him pressing with his front leg, which is good. His bottom arm stays relatively straight, but I would like to see him use his arm pressing down quicker so that his body and torso and his chest pops up right as his hips are opening up. So this motion right here that's happening, see how his chest is coming up? That's happening a little late. I would like to see this motion with his, I'll show you what I mean. We're looking right here with his upper body coming up. See how his chin is coming above his arm? I'd like to see that motion happening, but up here, right after he's buried. So instead, he kind of keeps going. His torso kind of stays put. So instead, I'd like to see an initial press up with the hips at the exact same time. Another thing is what he does at the exit. So he doesn't straighten his front leg, but he gets pretty close to it and he leaves it back possibly too long, because we see that the power phase is happening right here, and he leaves it back for a second. And instead, I would like to see him just open it and then immediately start closing at whatever pace he's going at. And now I'd like to see what happens when he goes up to his catch. Is he moving his hips and his upper body and arms and paddle all at the same time? Because if so, we know what happens. Our boat stops the momentum. So let's watch. And yes, he does that. He brings everything together at the same time. He's not... What I like to see is knee over foot at this point in the stroke. And then he gets to finish closing his hip and then his upper body and then going. But instead, it's a little bit smashed together. You can see the knee starting to come forward only after he gets up to his setup with his upper body. Right here is an example of that too. Watch his knee and his hand move forward at the exact same time. So all I'm saying is we want the knee first, the hip first, then the upper body. And then we'll keep a little bit better momentum. All right, Benji, that's your video. That's what we're going to be working on the next season. Everything else is looking pretty good.